That's a Camp Shabbat.
Awaken my soul to all its potential. A letter unique in an infinite scroll. Both a guest and a gift in this life I am living. May I be for a blessing as I come and I go. I come and I go. I think we can try that all together. Awaken my soul. Awaken my soul to all its potential. A letter unique in an infinite scroll. A letter unique in an infinite scroll. Both a guest and a gift in this life I am living. Both a guest and a gift in this life I am living. May I be for a blessing as I come and I go. May I be for a blessing as I come and I go. I come and I go. Let's try that one more time. Awaken my soul to all its potential. A letter unique in an infinite scroll. Letter unique in an infinite scroll. Both a guest and a gift in this life I am living. The guest and a gift in this life I am living. May I be for a blessing as I come and I go. Be for a blessing as I come and I go. I come and I go. Awaken my heart to all its potential. Awaken my heart to all its potential. A letter unique in an infinite scroll. A letter unique in an infinite scroll. Both a guest and a gift in this life I am living. Both a guest and a gift in this life I am living. May I be for a blessing as I come and I go. I come and I go. I come and I go. One more time. I come and I go.
Turn to page 142, continuing with Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashem, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Amlach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Oachem leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Amlach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tarfuni leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Amlach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Amlach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So this is our welcome back from Camp Shabbat. Who was at camp this summer? I can tell by the t-shirts too. That's good too. We're so glad that you're here. You know, but it's actually, I think we're doing this wrong. Because instead of inviting all of our campers to come to synagogue, it would work better, I think, if we invited our congregation to go to camp. Because it's really that environment and that immersion in those wonderful sanctuaries of nature, in the experiences from the dining hall to the ropes course to the Gaga pit and all parts in between, that are really the sacred spaces that I know have inspired so many of you, and perhaps even your parents and maybe your grandparents, to embrace your Jewish identity and to find meaning and melodies in Jewish prayer. Camp has been a wonderful incubator for a long time, since, and I gave a sermon about this before we went to camp at the beginning of the summer, since just after World War II in North America, as a way to try to save Jewish culture and to anchor Jewish identity. And just by looking around tonight and seeing all of our teens and tweens that are here in their camp t-shirts with their camp pride, their ruach, their spirit, it bodes well for the Jewish people. They're all holding up their shirts right now. But it bodes well for us as a congregation as well. We support all of our Jewish camps in the area, and you have been very supportive of that. The support that you've given to our scholarship funds, the Harley Reback Campership and Israel Fund have allowed many of these children to have these incredible experiences. And so we celebrate them, but we celebrate our community and all of you for being a part of this incredible experience and incredible creation of the next generation of Jews with a strong and proud Jewish identity. So much of camp is music, and so we're going to turn it back to Cantor Cohen and Annette and Paloma.
I think first we're going to light some candles.
We are. Thank you for that. Yes. And so to do that, we want to invite Miri and Graciela and Ora and Yuli to come to the candles right here. The reading is there, and there's a reading, and then we'll light the Shabbos candles.
As these Shabbat candles give us light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives,
give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Amen. Is that middle one? There you go. Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom, and thank you.
Now we will call our amazing song leaders, Annette and Paloma, back up. We're so excited to have you as leaders at camp, but also as leaders in our community. So this next part of our service we normally call Kabbalat Shabbat, and this is kind of a camp take on that. You're going to hear throughout the service melodies that we sing every week. There's going to be some regular tunes, as well as melodies that have been composed more recently, camp tunes. And you might not think about where the melodies come from when you come to shul and you pray. But a lot of the tunes that we think of as traditional actually came out of summer camp. And you're going to hear some of those. It came out of the folk music movement that started in the 50s and 60s. And it might be a lot newer than you would think. Not necessarily me, Sinai, but in our minds. So whatever reason you're here for, celebrating Leah's bat mitzvah, or to enjoy this camp music, or just for Shabbat, please sing along and join us. Page 643. Yep. Thank you.
גשר שר מאוד,
העולם כולו, גשר
שר מאוד, גשר שר מאוד. והעיקר, לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. כל העולם כולו, גשר שר מאוד, גשר שר מאוד, גשר שר מאוד. כל העולם כולו, גשר שר מאוד, גשר שר מאוד. והעיקר, לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. Don't walk in front of me, I may not follow. Don't walk behind me, I may not leave. Just walk beside me and be my friend, and together we will walk in the land of Hashem.
Page 648.
שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני שיר חדש. שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני שיר חדש. Sing unto God, I will sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along all the earth a new song unto God. שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני שיר חדש. שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני
שיר חדש. We'll turn now to page 138 for Lecha Dodi. Dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת קבלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת קבלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת קבלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת קבלה.
קלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם תפארת ונתילה, לה 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 לך אותי, לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת לקבלה, לך אותי, לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת לקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה, מראש מכן נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה, לה 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 לך אותי, לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת לקבלה, לך אותי, לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת לקבלה.
Verse 5.
התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך ומיורי, אורי אורי, שידברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה, לה 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 לך אותי, לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת לקבלה, לך אותי, לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת לקבלה. All rise and face the entrance. בואי ושלום עצרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצער, טוב למוני עם סלע. בואי קלה, בואי קלה, לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת לקבלה, לך אותי, לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת לקבלה, לה 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 לך אותי, לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת לקבלה, לך אותי, לקראת קלה, פני פני שבת לקבלה.
Thank you. Back to the rabbis.
Yashakach, we're going to remain standing and invite Leah to come join us on the bima to lead this next part of our service. We'll turn to page 263 for Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבם, ילמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכו בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב יאמרו, אמן יהי שמי רבם מבורך, לעולם עולמי עמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשא בריחו לעילם עם כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירה בעלמא ויאמרו Amen.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam vaed.
Please be seated. Continue with Ma'ariv Aravim on page 265.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechokma poteach she'arim, uvitzvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umasader et hakohavim, bemishmerotahem, rakia kirtsono, borei yom v'layla, golei or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai vekayam, tamidim lo chaleinu leolam vaed.
Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha avta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu uvkumeinu nasiach bechukecha ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגה יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תזיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות להם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We're going to continue now with two of our favorite melodies, for sure. Page 270, Mi Chamocha.
Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai?
Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la
Isn't Shabbat at camp the best? It is. It really is. Sometimes you get to eat special things and have incredible traditions. And I actually thought maybe we could get a little bit interactive. And I want to invite anyone, a couple people, to share your favorite camp Shabbat tradition. What is your favorite thing about Shabbat at camp? Yes, Hila.
At Camp Miriam on Shabbat, at Shabbat dinner, everybody gets pop cans, and we open them in a specific order so that there's like a shh sound, and it's really magical.
I love it. Shabbat pop opening. What's another?
Sugary drinks are pretty magical.
Sugary drinks on Shabbat. We get sugar at camp a lot on Shabbat. Any other favorite Shabbat camp traditions? No one?
There's mumblings of Shabbat Shirah in this back row.
Shabbat
definitely
Shirah,
heard.
extra singing, usually in the dining hall. I know a lot of camps do Shabbat Rikud, dancing after dinner. That's a lot of fun. One of my favorite things about Shabbat that I experienced when I was on faculty at Camp Kalsman was the Shabbat stroll, the walk to welcome Shabbat through the whole camp, picking up campers to the outdoor sanctuary for Shabbat. There's so many beautiful things. Noli. Go back, way back. Walk. They still do at Camp Miriam, walking to the point to sing songs to welcome Shabbat. Beautiful. Excellent.
Kylan, yes.
Oh, Kylan. Sleeping in the lazy morning on Shabbat is a beautiful thing. Fantastic. Good. Well, for all of these things, here's the thing, campers. Shabbat happens every week, not just at camp. We can make Shabbat special. We come to shul, we can eat obviously special Shabbat foods and have traditions that we create in our families to make it so special for all of us. So let's join together as we celebrate the magic of Shabbat, page 272, Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם לרית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, ביני ובין בני ישראל, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ים רבי לילי, שבת שבת, ים רבי לילי, Shabbat, Shabbat, Yom B'nai, Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'yom hashvi'i Shabbat v'yinafash, Shabbat v'yinafash. Yom B'nai, Shabbat, Shabbat, Yom B'nai, Shabbat, Shabbat, Yom B'nai, Shabbat, 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 Shalom. So I want to invite Leah to come back to help lead this next part of our service as we rise together for the Amidah, beginning page 273. Adonai sfatai tiftach, Adonai sfatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha, ufi yagid tehilatecha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rahel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chastei Avot Veimot, Umevi Geula Livnei Vnehem, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע. מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מלך חיי המתים.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. Kol hakavod, Leah. Great job. We'll see you back in a little bit. But for now, we're going to turn to page 279 with Ritzeh.
Ritzeh Adonai Eloheinu ve'amecha Yisrael u'tefilatam be'ahava tekabel u'te'ile ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael. Yisrael Amecha El Karov Lechol Korav Penei El Avadecha Lechonenu Shefoch Rochacha Aleinu V'techezena Eineinu V'shuvecha LeTzion ברחמים. ברוך אתה אדוני המחזיר שכינתו לציון.
For the blessings we are grateful for every day, we turn to this prayer of hoda'ah, of gratitude, and we're going to sing together on 284 lines from the bottom, V'al nisecha shebachol yom imanu.
ועל ניסך שבכל יום, ערב ובוקר וצהריים, מעולם קיווינו לך, מעולם קיווינו לך. הטוב כי לא חנו רחמך, והמרחם כי לא תמו חסדיך, מעולם קיווינו לך, מעולם קיווינו לך. That beautiful melody was by Debbie Friedman, one of the founders really of like modern/camp/folk Jewish music as we think of it. And as we turn to Shalom Rav on page 282, I just wanted to give a brief word that you might know this melody from, whether it's from camp or from us singing it here every week or somewhere else, your childhood perhaps. It was a melody written by cantor Jeff Klepper, who was born in 1954. He was a cantor, went to the same school that we did, and had such a huge influence on bringing camp and folk music into the synagogue, which we do a lot. And he has this quote that he told me once about explaining the music of the Jewish summer camps of his youth and how they embodied the revolutionary communal ethos of the 1960s. He says, everybody sings, right? This is the kind of music that everyone sings along with, and that makes it democratic. And it's anti-commercial because you could sit in your living room with a guitar and enjoy the evening in front of the fire singing folk songs. So this is his most famous composition, but he's written lots of different music and settings of prayers. But this one's really, really stuck. Page 282.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levadeh et amcha Yisrael. Bechol עת ובכל שעה משלומך. Wait for it. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Take a few moments now for our own silent prayer.
Awaken my soul to all its potential. A letter unique in an infinite scroll. Both a guest and a gift in this life I am living. May I be for a blessing as I come and I go. I come and I go. You might be thinking, I've heard this one before. You sure did. This is a poem written by Ellen Drayskin, and it is based on the text of Modeh Ani, and you might think it's nighttime, but it's very important to awaken our soul, which is what Modeh Ani is about. And be present. We're going to be present in every day. We're going to awaken our soul, be present in every day. And I invite you to all sing along with me in Awaken My Soul. Awaken my soul to all its potential. A letter unique in an infinite scroll. A letter unique in an infinite scroll. Both a guest and a gift in this life I am living. Both both a guest and a gift in this life I am living. May I be for a blessing as I come and I go. I come and I go. Let's try all together. I see only a few people singing. Awaken my soul to all its potential, a letter unique in an infinite scroll. A letter unique in an infinite scroll. Both a guest and a gift in this life I'm living. Both a guest and a gift in this life I am living. May I be for a blessing. May I be for a blessing as I come and I go. I come and I go. I'm going to switch it up. Awaken my heart. Awaken my heart to all its potential. A letter unique in an infinite scroll. A letter unique in an infinite scroll. Both a guest and a gift in this life I am living. Both a guest and a gift in this life I am living. May I be for a blessing. May I be for a blessing as I come and I go. 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 Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Paloma and Annette. We're going to turn ahead in our siddur to page 371 now. We think about the gift of life and the gift of health. We hold in our hearts all of those in our circles of family and friends who are struggling with health and for whom we pray they might find a refuah shlema, a complete renewal of body and spirit. So this Shabbat particularly, we think of Reuben Sinclair, Virginia Edwards, Thelma Wilson, Nini Rostaker Shipman, Meir Leb Ben Yosef, Sid Kurson, Yeshayahu, Yaakov Ben Yosef Abatia, Natalie Wormeli, Tzemach Ben Menashe Halevi Varikla, Meir Tzvi, Meir Zalman Ben Rachel, Daniel Gottesman, Bill Shaw, Claire Columbia, Carla Zivet, Janet Gelb, David Shlomo Gorney, and Andrea Jarzbiak. And I invite you, if there are others that you're thinking of, you'd like to mention their names, to rise and share them at this time.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Amen.
invite Dave Albert, member of our board, to come share some words of announcements and greetings this Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So my name is David Albert, and I'm a relatively new member to Temple Sholom, and I'm sitting on the board. I live in White Rock, and I'm happy to be here to share tonight with everybody. I have a camp story as well. I attended Jewish camp in Ontario at a camp called Camp Ramah, which is near the Algonquin Park, near the Algonquin Park. My memory from Camp Ramah involves my best friend at the time. His name was David Agalnik, and Dr. Agalnik is a member here at Temple Sholom as well. And my memory, as well as the music, was when we were about 9 or 10 years old, and we went to the concession and bought as many peanut chews as we could buy, stuffed our pockets with them, and we decided we were going to run away from camp together. And Dr. Agalnik and I made it till about the end of the road until we were picked up and brought back. But announcements for this week are as following. A reminder, nobody probably needs it, but high holiday services and about registering for high holiday services. The next announcement is to please join our song leader, Annette Kozicki, for the last Havdalah Summer Jam session on August 27th at 7:30 p.m. That's Sunday, is that right? Tomorrow. It's tomorrow the 26th or the 27th? 26th, it's the wrong date. So it's on the 26th, that's what I thought. I was a little confused. Go all night, though. Yeah. Okay. So it's tomorrow night, which is when Havdalah would normally be. I was a little confused. It says bring your own instrument. If you like to play guitar, drums, percussion instruments, but don't have one, please contact Annette, and her email address is in the announcements. All ages and skill levels are welcome. Register online. Please join us and the Temple Sholom teens for our Kala kickoff barbecue on Tuesday, August 29th. Is that the right date? I don't know. It is? Okay. At 6 p.m. at Grays Park, as we will eat, play some group games, and celebrate/mourn the end of summer. Don't forget to also register your grade 8 or 9 teens for this year's Kala program, which includes 4 gatherings throughout the year where they can continue their connections to Judaism and to Temple. Next Gen's Schwitzing at Turf is back for round 2 on Thursday, August 31st at 7:30 p.m. Join us for yoga with a little schwitz, followed by a snack and schmooze. Post-class, cost $15 for the class and snacks. And what I can tell you is my son, Sam Albert, who lives on Dunbar, goes to Turf. And the reason I know that is I pay his visa every month. And it's a lot more than $15 a month, or $15 a session, so that's a good deal. 15 spots available, so sign up on the website. Join us next Saturday, September 2nd at 12 p.m. after the morning service for our presentation with special guest Mike Hollander on celebrations and demonstrations, Israel at 75. This session will look at the issues that have divided Israelis in an historically unprecedented manner. Can Israel continue to be a Jewish and democratic state? I hope so. What is at stake and how does this affect Israelis and diaspora Jewry? No registration required. And that will be in person only. The annual Men's Club Poker and Pastrami Night returns on Wednesday, September 6th at 6:30 p.m. And there's registration on the website as well, and the cost is in the handout. And finally, registration is now open for our special Slichat program with Dr. David Suzuki, award-winning scientist, environmentalist, broadcaster, in discussion with Rabbi Dan Moskowitz on Saturday, September 9th at 8 p.m. And with respect to that, I had an opportunity to get to know Dr. Suzuki a little through my 2 children. Both my kids volunteered and did an intern at the Blue Dot Foundation, at the David Suzuki Foundation. And I had the chance a few years ago to hear him speak a number of times, and he's inspirational, I think, every time you hear him. So I would encourage everybody to attend that.
Shabbat Shalom, David, and thank you. Two other very quick ones. Our kosher catch is next weekend, or next Sunday, beginning on September 3rd. It was sold out, but one person had to cancel last minute. So we have one cabin left that can fit 2 people. If you're interested in going fishing with the synagogue to Tunqua Lake up near Kamloops, where there is no actual fire where we are fishing. And God willing, everything will have cooled down and people will be safe by then as well. So if you're interested, just let me know. And a mazel tov to Leah and your whole family on this wonderful day and your bat mitzvah tomorrow. We're so excited for you. So there is a program in Newfoundland that for a small fee allows you to go back to kindergarten for a day as an adult. For 6 hours, you can wear mismatched socks, finger paint, play with blocks, drink apple juice, eat graham crackers, and most importantly to me, have nap time. They have a waiting list 3 months long. Robert Fulcombe's oft-cited essay, All I Really Needed to Learn, All I Really Needed to Know, I Learned in Kindergarten, comes to mind when I think about this program back east. The other thing that it reminds me of is the extra reason why we have gathered here this evening for this Shabbat on one of the very last Shabbatot of the summer, and that is our Welcome Back to Camp Shabbat. Because camp, like kindergarten, is a magical place where children are really the most important people. A place where you generally eat kind of terrible food, but still you look forward to meal and snack time all the time. The cheers, the songs, the sitting with your bunkmates, seeing your friends. Camp is a place where you can totally be yourself. You can wear whatever you want. You can comb or not comb your hair if you have hair. Showering is optional until your bunkmates tell you it's no longer optional. Where the closest thing to parental supervision is a university-age counselor who themselves may still be learning to make their own bed, keep track of their own things, and not stay up too late. And there's no cell phones at camp. At camp, you make friends. You learn social skills, you gain independence, and of course, you have hours of outdoor fun. Color wars and capture the flag and swimming, and so much more. Sleepaway Camp helps Jews and Jewish youth establish strong friendships, ethics, and pride, all of which contribute to a lasting sense of community. And community is found in every corner of camp, by the lake, in the dining hall, during elective activities, in the bunks. Once a camper described to me camp, and she described it this way. She said, it's like having a sleepover with all of your friends for like a long time. I'm really close to my friends at home, but most of my camp friends I'm closer with. If you go to sleepaway camp, you're guaranteed to make at least one good friend. I have like so many best friends, basically everyone in my bunk. End quote. It was an actual quote. I wrote it down. It was so good. Camp is awesome. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel once described Shabbat as a palace in time. And for most non-Orthodox Jewish teens and tweens, his description more closely fits the few weeks that they spend at Jewish summer camp, where the whole experience from Shabbat to Maccabiyah feels like a palace in time. But then, camp is over, and the tears begin. They really begin. If you want to understand mourning and sadness, stand on the basketball court on the last morning of the session of camp that your children are attending. Just stand and listen to the wailing, watch the hugs, the promises to never forget their bunkmates, the bargaining with parents to just wait a little longer before we pack the car and load out and leave. Every summer, I get a refresher course in my own pastoral skills as we drive out the camp gate, and during those hour-long drive back home, the wailing and the waves of emotion that are flowing forward from the back seat. Of course, this too is by design. We want camp to be so magical, so transformative, so special that our children appreciate the experience that they have had to the point that mourning its inevitable and necessary conclusion is just that powerful. Because we mourn things that are special to us. We mourn things that are important. Logic, reason, time, all the factors that will ultimately help us work through our sadness, they're irrelevant in that moment. Be it camp, illness, or death, God forbid, of a loved one, the end of a relationship, the bigger our tears, the bigger that thing was to us that we mourn. There is so often a direct correlation between the two. The psalmist proclaims, "Teach us so to number our days that we may attain a heart of wisdom." We need experiences at every age that are finite and precious so that we can appreciate what we have while we have it and while we're experiencing it. One measure of maturity, I would say, is our ability to realize this in real time, as it's happening, or even before it has happened. This is true of any age, because maturity is not chronological, it's experiential. The more and varied our experiences and the effort that we make to reflect on those experiences, the greater wisdom and empathy we gain. Camp, for all its frivolity and its silliness, is actually a maturity accelerator. It helps children value and evaluate their life, choices, and circumstances. Taking our children out of the bubble of that carefully curated childhood and letting them practice many of the social and emotional skills that they and we will need the rest of our lives. As a parent of a camp-age child or children, I've often joked that summer sleepaway camp is really a gift that parents give themselves. A few precious weeks in the summer without the daily responsibilities of parenting your children, a break from the schlepping, the cooking, the cleaning, the limit setting, the constant monitoring. And there is certainly, I think, some truth to that. But we know it's really not about us as parents. The investment is in them. It's in all of you sitting in the back row as children and as future adults. And yet I want to suggest that the lessons learned by our kids at summer camp about the value of experiences, the freedom to be ourselves, to express who we are, how we are during these precious weeks of summer, are not only for our children, but those lessons are lessons for parents and grandparents as well. There is a saying about camp: you live 10 months for 2. You have 10 months till that magical summertime for our children of any age will come again. If we, parents of camp-age children, then we have 10 months to plan how we will use their time at camp to grow ourselves, to recharge our relationships with our own parents, with our partners and friends. And if you're grandparents who have grandchildren that go to camp, by the way, you're often the ones that make that financially possible, and we thank you for that. You have 10 months to think about how you will use that time when your adult children are not pulled in so many multiple directions. And you can renew and reimagine your relationship with them. For adults and children here and watching from home, just as we use the month of Elul to reflect and prepare for the new year that comes with Rosh Hashanah in just a few weeks, we can use this time in the shadow of camp and the dog days of summer to think about how we grew and how we were changed by the experiences of these last few months of summer, whether they were spent at camp or far removed from our camps. How we will live and prioritize the next 10 months till we return to that magical place again, that island in time where we can be free of the constraints and the burdens of life without camp. Further still, how can we, with Shabbat, create an island of sacred time and space, we could call it day camp, if you will, during these coming months, so that we can have a taste of camp life and camp time without having to wait 10 months till next summer. Now, they say one more thing about camp and time that is worth It's a lesson worth repeating. At camp, we say, the days are like weeks, and the weeks are like days. It all goes so very fast from one day to the next, but when you are intentionally immersed in your experiences and your relationships at camp, those moments, they feel like they could last forever, that they could last a lifetime. And so, like going back to kindergarten, I think that we would all like to feel that way again, if only for a few hours or a few days. We can create that island and palace of time. We can do it right here. We don't have to wait 10 months. Shabbat Shalom. Our service is going to continue with Aleinu, page 586. Please rise. So it's not on 586, but it's still going to be Aleinu, and you can still rise.
Let's all try that together. The second time we go up. Nice. One more time all together. No, we got some other words.
It's up to us to build the future. It's up to us to light the way. It's up to us to make tomorrow more than today. It's up to us to find the meaning. It's up to us to blaze the trail. It's up to us to push our limits. We will not fail. Aleinu,
Bayom hahu, bayom hahu.
Aleinu,
Bayom hahu, bayom hahu.
Aleinu,
Bayom hahu, bayom hahu.
It's up to us to forge connections. It's up to us to lead the charge. It's up to us to stand united, 'cause that's who we are. It's up to us to start the process. It's up to us to lend our hand. It's our obligation to help lead the nation better than when it began. Aleinu, bayom hahu, bayom hahu. Aleinu, bayom hahu, bayom hahu. Aleinu, bayom hahu, bayom hahu. Aleinu, bayom hahu.
Can be seated. Just listen to the words of our camp songs and how they translate these prayers and these values that are sometimes buried in our siddur, buried in a language that our children don't generally speak at home or understand, and translated into actions and opportunities and blessings. So wonderfully accessible. We turn our thoughts to Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish, memories of loved ones who are not here, but whose memory is, and whose presence in memory continues to guide and inspire us. A reading before Kaddish, page 595. Yesh kochavim. There are stars above, so far away that we only see their light long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, they are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways that we remember. On this Shabbat, we recall those who died during this past week or these past 30 days, whose families are in the midst of Shiva and Shloshim. As I read the name of your loved one, if you could rise and remain standing. Rose Afriat, Dana Becker, Franklin Eisenstadt, Varda Greenberg, Hazel Werb Hall, Shirley Hirsch, Max Jacobson, Avram Posen. And those for whom the Yortzeit, the anniversary of the death of your loved one, is on this Shabbat, if you too could rise and remain standing so that we might comfort you in our midst. Zelda Abelson, Lily Brownstein, Celia Cherry, Jack Chochinov, Maurice Coblin, Stella Cohen, Billy Davids, Dr. Shirley Epstein, Paula Feldman, Marianne Ferguson, Pete Franzblow, Helen Fugman, Paul Goldberg, Samuel Goldstein, Alan Gove, Ann Hansen, Morris Huberman, Francis Huberman, Frank Calla, Brian Konevsky, Minnie Karlinski, Harry Klonoff, Lucy Lempert, Zelig Leventhal, Hans Liebman, Phil Linder, Robert Mahler, Chaya Mahler, Lieb Mahler, Leah Mahler, Ethel Mahler, Harry Matus, Roberta Michelson, Margaret Oberlander, Ian Power, Benjamin Platel, Lionel Potechin, Maxwell Rappaport, Melva Siegel, Michael Schulman, Annie Silverfinger, Eric Soner, Anatoly Sosnov, Mel Sprackman, Sidney Stern, Bessie Unico, Wynne Wilmot, Hyman Ziff. If there are other names that I've missed or mispronounced, if you come to say Kaddish for any other reason, please rise and call them out.
William Davidovitz passed away yesterday.
His memory be a blessing, Barry. We look around our congregation, we see those that have stood in mourning. We don't want them to stand alone. So we'll stand now by their side, providing the comfort of our presence. We turn to page 598. Invite those for whom it's your custom to join with the mourners in Kadisha Tome, the mourners' Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, v'yomah divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon ufayed chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'yimaru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya, Yit barach v'yish tabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit roman v'yit naseh, v'yit adar v'yit alev v'yit alal Shemei kudisha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, damiron be'alma v'yimaru amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yimaru amen. Osei Shalom b'romav, Huya aseh shalom, aleinu v'yakol Yisrael, v'kol yoshvei tevel, v'yimaru. Amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn comfort the bereaved among us, and we say together, Amen. So we're going to do two things. We're going to ask Leah to come over here to help lead us in Kiddush, and we want to ask all of our camp kids that are here to join us on the Bimas for our closing song, singing Oseh Shalom. Now, if you had to come up by yourself, you wouldn't come, but if you're coming with your friends, it shouldn't be as nervous making. So if you consider yourself to be a camper, if you worked at camp this summer or a few summers ago, you're still a camper, come join us on the Bima to join in this song. Stop shaking your head, Hannah. Come on up. Yeah, you got to come. It's dangerous when the rabbis and cantor know your names.
You got to march there. Very nice. Very nice.
We're going to call you by name.
Come on up, everyone.
Ella.
Come on up.
Hila. You're camp. You were camp. Yeah.
You guys can come all the way up on the Bimas. Okay.
Every cliner
Everyone
we got.
who was at camp this summer.
No, we're going this way. We're going this way.
Come stand on the beat. Kids, guys, everyone, y'all.
This
all
way.
the campers over here.
Go.
All the campers over here.
I promise you can do it.
Come on.
It's going to be
Yeah, all the campers over here.
Yeah,
come
keep
on
walking.
up.
Keep walking. Keep walking. Go, go, go.
Keep coming. Keep it coming. Scoot down a little bit, guys. Come on over here. Absolutely. Come on over. Esti, come up here. Scooch all the way down. Come all the way down.
That's great.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Future camp time.
So hold this in one hand. You can put this in right
Still
hand.
got tape on your arm. Get that off.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei Puri Hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. L'chaim.
Chaim. Let's say Motzi together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Okay, we're going to conclude with my favorite of Sholom. I don't know about you all.
Okay, it is Elul, so we're going to sound the shofar. So let's all give Rabbi Dan a tekiah. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Tekiah! Yasher koach. Shabbat Shalom. Please join us in the social hall for an Oneg Shabbat sponsored by Leah's family. Shabbat Shalom.